happy Monday morning to everybody out there. Today is August 26th, 2024. And I could have swore we just started August and I just said August 26th. So I don't know where the time is going, but it seems to have sped up a little bit. At least for me, I feel like, wait, where did August go? There was so much I was supposed to do in August. Anyone out there feeling that way, please make sure you drop a comment and let us know. But I'm excited to have Dawn Stebbing here. She is one of our members of the LEAP community, and today is a Member Monday Spotlight. So we bring Dawn forward, and we want to talk about how you can reach new heights by staying true to yourself. So Dawn, welcome to a Member Monday Spotlight.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So tell us all about what you do, a little bit about your business, what type of client you serve, why, and why you're passionate about serving your client in that way.
Okay. Sure. I'm a sales and image expert. I have spent 14 years as an image consultant. When COVID hit, I pivoted a little bit and brought out my sales expert part of me and decided to lead with sales and go from sales to image. And I serve driven entrepreneurs who want to stand out in their marketplace and be recognized leaders in their field. And I do this through helping them with their personal brand style, their sales, and help them grow their sales, and also leadership, how to be an integrity filled leader. And being an integrity field leader is huge in my world because I have spent a lot of time with wonderful leaders, and I've also had some not so good leaders. And the not so good leaders are the ones that actually left the biggest mark on my on my careers because they have did some damage to my careers. And I thought, well, gosh, if I was ever going to be that kind of a leader, I probably wouldn't have a team. I probably wouldn't have clients, and I probably wouldn't have my sales the way I had my sales. And I refuse to actually be that type of leader. So I decided that I wanted to teach others how to be integrity filled and be a good leader to their teams and their sales teams at the same time.
That is crucial. And I'm so
Yes.
glad you said that because I believe we need more individuals out there, but not just I think there are leaders out there that are training other leaders to be those amazing leaders that really have people first and work on growing an individual as a person versus, really focusing on the numbers. I think the issue stands, Dawn, that companies might not be investing in the people by hiring them to work with them. So are you working with leaders at a higher level? Are you working with those leaders that are in C-suite roles, or who is an ideal person for
I
that?
love that you brought that up because my background, I have worked with many leaders in the C-suite arena. But when I have pivoted, I work with more entrepreneurs today. And the reason, let me say this, it's not that I still don't work with the C-suite, but my focus is because I have almost 40 years experience in the direct sales industry. And the leaders in the direct sales industry um, that I've had were leaders that probably need a little bit more guidance in how to lead their teams. And it's not just in direct sales, it's in all types of sales industries. And so, yes, in the C suite and entrepreneurs have been people that I have worked with.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that because, it really just depends on how big your company is. I've got a few employees in my company, so they're individuals at different positions. Same with mine and my husband's company. We have employees that work with it. Well, actually, all three of our businesses, let's just say, I've got employees that work. So when we feel like we need someone to come in and work with them individually, I think that's kind of when you get a little bit bigger. But what you're saying is you're working with a lot of entrepreneurs. Are they solopreneurs that are growing their business and they're really focusing on that, staying true to themselves, like really focusing on, I guess what I would want to say is the authenticity of who they are and what their brand is, and really bringing that to the forefront and not trying to be like or be somebody else?
Right. Great question, because that is exactly what I'm talking about, is because you can spend your whole life, trying to do what you want to do. However, if you're rubbing people the wrong way, they notice it. If you're kind of faking it till you make it, they notice it. If you're not being true to yourself in person versus when you get the client in your hands and you're not true to yourself, they notice that. And they're going, "Ooh, well, this wasn't the same person I met before. When I first met this person, that person wasn't like that. Now he or she is a completely different person." It is about being true to yourself, because this is something I learned on my own too. Was Yes, I do have a story, where I felt like I was following somebody else in their footsteps. I had no idea that my whole personality was changing. My whole demeanor had changed because I was becoming this other person that had lacked integrity and authenticity in their business. And when somebody gave me that wake up call, I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that I was becoming somebody totally different than who I always truly wanted to be. Once I had that wake up call, it was like, how do I be my true authentic self? And I don't mean stripping down, to nothing. I mean, how do I show up and be truly me with all the quirky parts that you have, with all the, mistakes you made, with the good things and the bad. You take it all. And you're just not perfect. And I guess it was imposter syndrome. And it also is that perfectionism that people always want. And I've always strived to be, better than I am, but I also didn't think it was being a perfectionism. And here, somebody made me realize, Dawn, you don't have to be perfect, and that is so true. Is I am not expecting everybody to be raw, but I am expecting everybody to show their best true self from the inside out and from the outside in. And that's why I also do the personal brand style work too, is because sometimes we can look great on the outside, but when we start talking and when we start interacting with people, and our communication is one of the biggest parts here, if it's a disconnect, then people are going to notice. And you're not going to feel confident either, because it doesn't resonate. Your message needs to resonate both outside and inside. When you're selling to people, when you're in your leadership role, everywhere, it is your brand. And you are your walking, talking brand 24/7. And that's your blueprint for being your personal brand style is your blueprint online and offline.
Mm.
So it's always with you wherever you go.
I'm so glad you said that because I really feel like some people think if I'm authentic, I have to be raw and vulnerable. And not necessarily. You can choose when you want to be that way, raw and vulnerable, but being your authentic self is being who you were created to be and not trying to emulate or be like someone else. And I've been reading the book lately from Jamie I think it's Jamie Kern Lima from It Cosmetics, and she wrote a
Mm,
book, Worthy. And I've been listening to it on Audible. I sent it to my husband and said, "You got to listen to this." And it really talks about who you are as a person and feeling worthy. And that brings out kind of that authenticity and how easy it is to be authentic, not only in business, but in relationships, just friendships, and having boundaries with friends or boundaries with loved ones or family. And that also that worthiness plays a lot into our authenticity of who we are. When I decided, like, and I love she talks about you might feel uncomfortable because you're the first. And I love that because her cosmetics weren't necessarily the first cosmetics to the market, but hers were the first type of cosmetic that actually covered rosacea to the
mm,
market. And so she said, when you're first and you do something the way you do it, the way you feel it's right, it's going to be different than other people are going to say, well, that's not how you do conferences, Colleen. That they're supposed to be done like this, and this. And I'm like, well, that's boring. I don't like those. So I do them the way I want to do them because that's what works for me and that's what I like. So I think that when we just show up and create things the way we're supposed to do it instead of using that, oh, things have always been done that way. You heard that? We're like, I just
Oh
do it
yeah.
because it's always been done that way. It's like, that's the number one thing, right? So talk a
It
little bit more about that authenticity. I would love to hear more.
Right. Well, I love what you just said. Let me just I'm back up there a little bit. Is we have to stop being that cookie cutter person, what everybody else is doing. And it's so true, is like break out of your mold and do something that you feel is right. And it's got to feel right inside, not what somebody else said, not what somebody else did. And that is how you become authentic, is because you're bringing out what resonates with you the best in who you are. And whether somebody disagrees with what you're saying, it doesn't matter, because that's your belief. That's who you want to teach, who you want to become, and how do you want to teach others. And it is your true authentic self coming out saying, I believe this is for me. I believe this is what worked for me. I believe. And you keep saying that. And then that comes to the surface. And it's showing up authentic. It's communicate authentically. It's behaving authentic, authentically. And it's all of that is part of your personal brand. And it's huge
Mm,
when you're going out and selling. It's going when it comes to sales, if you're not authentic, people can feel that. Nobody wants to be sold to. And I despise this when I get somebody on a call and they're selling a product and they never listen to what my needs are, or care about who I am as a person, or even think that I even want their product. It is really building a relationship, because if it's not for me, I know somebody that it might be for.
yeah.
So building that relationship and being a friend to somebody and being authentic, people are going to notice that and trust you more, trust you as an advisor, trust everything
Mhm.
that you say and build, and they're going to follow you. They're going to be a loyal follower for you. So
Yeah.
just be real. And when I say real, now a lot of people might take this a little out of context. Being real isn't, like I said earlier, stripping down to nothing. Being real is just bring out who you truly are. Just speak from your heart. Speak
Yeah.
from your heart and be you. And I love how you have set an example for many women out there. I can feel you. I can feel your heart.
Oh,
And that's amazing. And I that's why I was attracted to you. So even that's a great example right there, is when you feel somebody's heart, their excitement, you show up real, you show up, you're beautiful. All of these pieces resonate with who you are as your brand.
yeah.
And your
I'm glad
brand
you
stands
said that.
out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You have to be so consistent in your brand. Sometimes I'll see businesses out there, women out there, they're selling this and then they turn around and then they say, now I do this. And then they turn around and say, oh, I'm also doing this. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm really confused now. And I feel like a confused mind doesn't buy. And I also feel like you as an individual, you said it right, Dawn. We have to enroll people through our passion of our why and why we love to do what we do and be that true example for other people. I think that is crucial in selling. It's not the words you're saying, it's how you're making the other person feel
That's
through the
right.
conversation.
That's right.
And that's the most crucial piece for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Love
yes,
that.
exactly. How do you make them feel? And I love that piece of it, is making them feel
Yeah.
that you care about them. People
Yeah.
want to know that you have their best interest and you actually care about them.
So we want them to get in touch with you now. And we're going to have all this in the comment section as well. So dawnstebbing.com, that's going to get them to your website. Can they connect with you on there as well and schedule a call to have a
Yes.
conversation with you? Okay.
Or they can go to dawn at dawnstebbing.com is my
Okay.
email number.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So you can do dawnstebbing.com or dawn@dawnstebbing.com. You can also connect with Dawn on LinkedIn at Dawn Stebbing and Facebook at Dawn Stebbing. We'll put those links in the comment section. And Dawn, I just want to thank you. There's so many women that have brought your name up in the LEAP community that appreciate you and what you've done for them and the person that you've been and the friend that you've been for them and things that you've shared at networking events that we've done. So thank you so much for being an amazing member of the community
Mm.
and just also for being authentically you and walking in that example for the rest of
Thank
us
you.
to follow.
Thank you. Thank you
I
for
love
having me. I appreciate it.
yeah. Ladies, it's been fun today. Gentlemen out there as well. I would reach out to Dawn Stebbing if you're like, I don't know why my sales aren't where they need to be. I think just small tweaks in the things that we do can make a big difference. And sometimes we just don't see it because we're in our own frame. So, Dawn, thank you for bringing us to new heights today by teaching us how to stay true to ourselves. Is so, so, so important. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Don't forget this week, go out and crush your goals. Be you. That's my motto, and be strong. And until next time, Dawn, thank you so much for being a member of the community. Bye
Thank
bye
you.
for
My
now,
pleasure.
everyone. Take care.